registered 10.4 million new Republicans, and George Bush won a second office. And that was the last time Republicans at a national level or in an organized way ran a voter registration drive that reached out to an 18-year-old who for the first time could vote and asked him to register Republican. That can't last. This cycle, we've got to reach out. We've got to ask 18-year-olds to join our party. We've got to ask adults who aren't registered, be a Republican. We've got to reach across the proverbial aisle and ask those conservative Democrats, join us and change America forever. Now, we've got to volunteer. Everybody's here, and I know your level of commitment. But we've got to build an army of volunteers. That's not several hundred, that's tens of thousands. It means that the counties you come from, you've got to go home and work with my campaign and with the state party and with the state house leadership and the Senate leadership. And we've got to put together an organized effort that reaches out and pulls people in. As Nathan said, there are going to be some breakout sessions on technology, on social networking. It's real simple with my campaign. If you haven't gone to burrhq.com and registered, do it before this week is up. You can go to one spot, burrhq.com, and register, and you will now be integrated into the most massive volunteer effort that Republicans have ever done in this state, and I believe we will outdo what Democrats did in 2008 when they elected Barack Obama. But the first step is for you to get on that computer and go to burrhq.com and to personally register, and then to go preach how easy it is to folks that you run into. So many times people come up and said, I'd like to volunteer for your campaign, how do I do it? Well, by the time you hand them a card, they're going to lose it. By the time you give them a telephone number, they won't have written the name down, they won't know whose it is. It's real simple when you say go to burrhq.com. We're going to have the ability for tens of thousands of people at night when they're at home to download a phone list and to start making phone calls next week. Not September or November. Next week. The campaign starts with the end of this convention. And it starts with you being the nucleus of what we do. I've gone around the state and said I'm going to be the first Republican to ever run a campaign on every college campus. And I've had some Republicans quite frankly, I've had some Republicans look at me like I was crazy. Well, think about it. Last year's graduating class, 60% of them didn't find careers. They found a job. Many of them are waiting tables, working at a hotel. But they didn't find a career. That promise we made as parents, stick it out for those 4 years, and your opportunity is unlimited. Well, this administration's made sure the definition is unlimited is minimum wage. We've got to make sure that our kids inherit the same opportunity that we did. And there's no better group today than these kids who are actually slogging it through 4 years of higher education to reach out to and pull them in a real and effective way. And for that reason, you now see an opportunity on every college campus, regardless of what your preference is. Many of you know, my wife will tell you, this is the most effective thing you can do. Accomplishes two things. One, if you put it on your car, it's worth $250 in advertising. Multiply it just by what's in this room. And trust me, the reason I was a little bit late, she made me drive through the parking garage 3 times, and she wrote down every license plate of everybody that didn't have one of these on. So don't think you're going to get by in her book. But the truth is, if you got a pickup truck, it's worth $500. And more importantly, it doesn't matter whether it's Elaine Marshall or what's his name. If they see these every time they drive down I-95 and I-40 and I-85, you know what? They're going to pray for November to be over. You've got to donate. Say it again. You've got to donate to candidates and to the party. I know that's something that not everybody's in a financial position to do today. But if you are, realize that you've got to double up, because the person beside you may not be in that situation. It requires us to do it all this time. I'm proud to tell you today that we've crossed the $10 million raised line in my campaign. That's the good news. The bad news is I still have to raise $5 million more. But so does Virginia. So do our incumbents. So does our leadership in the House and the Senate here in North Carolina. And so do people like Ilario. Where are you, Ilario? The guy that's going to beat Mike McIntyre. Let me stop for a minute. Sometimes I forget that we haven't finished picking our candidates. That we've got some runoffs, at least one I know of, two I know of, June 22nd. And I'm sure in this room, possibly under the same banner of a county, there are people that are supporting two different sides. And that's fine. But commit today that on June 22nd, when the primaries, when the runoffs are over, we come together as a team and support our nominee regardless of who that is. Now, I've got to ask you for something. Will you help us win in November? Yeah. Will you help us win in November? Yeah. Can we count on you? Can I count on you? Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a privilege to serve you in the United States Senate. And I will make this promise to you today. If you'll help me in every way you can get reelected November the 2nd, I will do everything in my power to see that no president ever again apologizes for America. Thank you.